Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host, Ed Smith. Today we're going to take a look at a team called A New Beginning, and it's a 14 team league. It began the summer of 2021, so we just finished the first year of operation with this team. And 1 point PPR, 2.5 point PPR for the tight end as a premium. It's got one quarterback, one super flex, two running back, four receiver, two tight end, three flex for 13 starters. So 14 team, you start having four receivers and we get pretty deep pretty quick. 17 bench spots, six taxi, and five IR. So that takes us pretty deep as well. I still think even with the amount of receivers there that the tight end is the most important spot. 2.5 point PPR on the premium, and then two tight ends for a total of 28 starters. So here, pretty pleased with the tight end room actually with this team, and really excited for maybe where it goes from here. Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, really solidify the top two spots in the tight end room. And then Harrison Bryant and Irv Smith behind it. And so four tight ends there that could be top 10 contributors or top 14 contributors anyway. So could have four of the top 14, and that feels like a pretty good spot. Looking at the quarterback room, which I think is probably the second most important position, even though those four receivers, starting two quarterbacks in a super flex 14 team league feels like a must do. And here at the top of the quarterback room, we have Lamar and Joe Burrow, and then with Baker Mayfield, Mills. So four starters, real bona fide starters there, especially if Mills hangs on to that job. And then we have Brandon Allen, White, Wolford, Franks, and Tyrod Taylor. So, some lesser than names there that just kind of holding the fort or placeholders on the roster, but really excited for where they are. Look at the running back room, and now we start to tail off pretty drastically. And this is definitely a room to improve if the running backs fall in the draft to us with our draft selection. But we have Fournette and Wilson from San Francisco, and then Jarrett Patterson, Gus Edwards, Funk, and Sargent. You guys that have been watching my videos know that Funk and Sargent are everywhere on my teams, but those are kind of the free bingo squares, if you will. So that's the free spot. We take those free spots and we go from there. Um, the receiver room also needs a little bit of help. It's got some ups and downs, I guess, when I start to look at it. But some of that was based on injury. So, we have Mike Williams and Michael Thomas. So those are more top end names, and then Pittman and Myers and Eskridge and Treadwell and Reynolds and Josh Gordon, Sherfield and Cephas. So there's some names there for the four receiver spots, but after we look at Pittman and Myers and Thomas and Mike Williams and Cephas, five spots there to fill, or five receivers to fill the four spots, and we feel fairly comfortable, even though they're kind of lower end names. If Michael Thomas returns to form anyway, we do feel pretty comfortable there. We really feel like running back is the place to really capitalize on in this draft, and if they fall at the fourth spot, that's probably where we'll look to go, unless we get that top receiver, number two receiver, in that spot. Feeling like we can really anchor this team for the long term, and we may go that way as well. In the draft, we have number 4 in the first round, and then we have number 18 and 23 in the second, 32, 37, 41 in the third, 46, 50, 51, 55 in the fourth. And as we look ahead to 2023, actually have two firsts, two seconds, two thirds, two fourths. So we do have some advanced capital next year if we decided to maybe kick the can down the road a little bit here, or maybe trade out that 18th pick if we don't see something there we need, and for a future first to really solidify what we have here, or maybe move on from Fournette if we decide not to go for it with this team as we get going. Looking at the draft, and as we look back to 2021, I guess I really diving into the draft a little bit, and I noticed that I traded out of the 10 spot back to the 13 spot, and I traded a spot that Deshaun Watson was taken into a spot that I got to take Lamar Jackson. So that feels like a really good move. And then I circled back the next time and took Joe Burrow, Michael Thomas, and Mark Andrews. So the top four picks there, I feel really good about a year later, and that's kind of, that was very early before we knew Michael Thomas wouldn't be playing football this year, and I guess I feel like that I look back and feel like that was a good situation as I'm looking at this draft, and feeling like most of the players. Chris Carson is no longer on the team. He was the fifth round pick, but as I look down the draft board, it seems like most of the players that we drafted we still have, and so that's a good testament to the draft and what we got out of it. Looking at what we got in the rookie picks last year, getting Kyle Pitts was a big, a big useful piece. The one pick that we had in the first round last year in a draft like this, and we're able to pull him out of the 5 spot. So, this draft actually was one of the few that Justin Fields went number 1 and Lawrence went 2 with Harris, Wilson, Pitts, and so we did bypass Trey Lance, which you usually don't do, or Jamar Chase, but for Pitts in this kind of format, it felt like he was the right move to really solidify going forward. So really pleased with that. Want to hear what you think? Put it in the comments. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button if you would as well, and maybe the notification bell for your thoughts on this team. I'd love to hear it. Keep hitting those likes. That keeps me doing this every day, and be glad to hear what you think on this team. I do think this team actually has a chance to begin winning this year with a solid draft, but maybe more likely it'll be in the third year as we try to win in that third year of operation. So look forward to your comments. My name is Ed Smith with the Fantasy Football Clown Show, coming back to you tomorrow with another team.